pleasant Friday. Welcome to Lone Star Park at Grand Prairie. We're fast once again on the racetrack. More really nice warm weather here. And alongside Rodney Nelson, I'm Jim Byers. Thanks a lot for looking in. We've got a 9-race card tonight, a couple of graded Arabian Stakes races, which are annual features here. The Lone Star Texas Arabian Juveniles, which are for 3-year-olds in this sport. But nonetheless, it should be a lot of fun. Let's get right on to the action, shall we? Race 1, a quarter horse race, maiden claiming fillies and mares, going $250. They're in for a $5,000 tag. These are 3 to 5-year-olds, and the morning line favorite, the 8 Flirting with Luck, scratched, and honestly, that was the only filly in here whose form I could really get behind. You and I both end up with the 4 Surfer Girl. Now, I picked her knowing that if the favorite, I always, with my second pick, I'm a little careful. Who do I want to get left with if the top pick scratches? So I'm going to ride with Surfer Girl, but, boy, I've had more confident top picks in my day.
It's funny that you say that because I went with Surfer Girl. I had the horse on top no matter what.
All the way?
All the
right.
way. I had Flirting with Luck.
You get
second.
an extra point over me if she wins.
But I'll tell you, after coming down here, waiting for you to come down, looking over my picks again, I looked at Surfer Girl and said, man, why did I pick this 4 to win this race? But then I started looking at the other horses in here and was like, no one's really shown anything. We got a couple that are one that's making or a couple that are making a second career start. The other ones, we've had some that have had 8, 12, 9 different starts and, have failed to pick up a win. Surfer Girl, I went with this one, a little bit longer price on the morning line, 12 to 1. This horse is making its second start after a layoff. I love that angle. Had a workout back on the 10th of August at Retama Park, 2 of 9 on the morning. Follow that back up with that race at Retama Park in for the $10,000 tag.
At least she's
drops
dropping.
down in here for $5,000 today. I figured with the field here, let me roll the dice and take one that's a little bit of a longer shot. Then I went with number 1, Mimi's Eye Opener YG as my second pick. Lost by 2 last time out. Broke in that race. Ended up being placed 9th in that race after some interference with other horses. The horse did have a third-place finish at Sam Houston earlier this year. If you look back to how this horse did in 23, wasn't bad. Had some on-the-board finishes. Seems to be one of the ones that actually grinds out a little bit of money in these races. And then number 9, Fast Bar B is going to be my third choice. Another one that's taken a drop. Was in for $15,000 last time. Finished 9 of 9 in that race. Race before that was a 4th place finish at the $7,500 tag. So coming in here for $5,000. Let's see what Fast Bar B can do.
Yeah, she was claimed for $5,000 by Dennis Turner well over a year ago, July of 23, and Dennis hasn't been able to coax a lot out of her, and he's had her at $5,000, $7,500. He's had her in maiden special weights. Now she's back for a nickel, if you will. But Surfer Girl, like you say, at least she's dropping, and that second off the layoff, a bit more important for her than in some cases because her layoff was just about 365 days. So, and her races last year weren't great, but they were against better. Sweet Tabby I have as a second pick. Again, didn't show much late last month here, but at least she has one race over the track, her only career start. It was a bad start. It was a disaster at big odds. Her trainer, Marla Diana Vargas, has won some races, a couple of races at least this fall at Will Rogers, so she knows the way to the winner's circle, so I'm going to take Sweet Tabby second. The second race is the Grade 3 Texas Arabian Juvenile Sprint. And this is the 3-year-old division, so this is open to anybody, fillies or 3-year-old colts and geldings. But the way it works out, the colts and geldings usually end up in this one, and the fillies have their own division. And this one has a field of 9, and this is pretty interesting matchup here. You got 3 horses, 2 to 1 or lower on the morning line.
Yeah, out of a 6-horse field, RB Boyfriend, the number 1, that's going to be my top choice. This horse has had 2 races. The very first one was a stakes race down at Retama Park at the end of July. Ran a good second in that one, just missed by a neck to one of the other runners that's in here. Then came out here on the 19th of September and won the race. Pretty much led it all the way around. That was a maiden special weight. So, you know what? I'm going to take RB Boyfriend for a high percentage Arabian trainer and Ernesto Torres. He's got half the field in here, so
Yeah.
picking him, you would think you'd get at least one horse in the top three, right? If
I
not,
went
something's
for,
wrong.
I went for the Torres Exacta as well. I misspoke. I had my PPs misconfigured. As you mentioned, it is just a 6-horse field. I think I said it was a field of 9, but I had a different race in there. But, Torres has half the field in here, including 2 of the 3 shortest on the morning line. So he should cash some checks at some point in this race somehow.
So I threw a curveball in there. I say a curveball with AARX Burn as my second choice. This horse has been in 3 different races, hit the board in all 3 of those races. Last time out, ran against RB Boyfriend. That was a tight race coming down the stretch. Missed by 3/4 in that one, finished 3rd in the stakes race before that. So, this horse, 3 for 3 in the money. And then I got number 2, Burn It Up AA, as my third choice here. Last time out in that Texas Arabian Derby, wasn't the hottest race. Finished 5 of 6, beaten by almost 40 lengths, but was a winner of that stakes race before then that RB Boyfriend and AARX Burn ran. So Burn It Up AA can beat these other horses. There's no doubt about it. It's done it in the past, but we'll see how it shakes out when it's all said and done. I got it 1-4-2 in race 2.
Yeah, and I went ahead 1-2-4. I think the 2 and the 4 are pretty even. I thought it was a pretty clear-cut choice to go with the 1 in this spot. He's got good speed. He likes to sprint. Valdez Jimenez is Torres' lead rider in these Arabian races, and he sticks with him. So, and I think the other 2 are pretty even. Burn It Up turns back from a 2-turn race back to a sprint, which he should probably like. And then our AARX Burn is a little more of a stalker, chaser type. And if the 2 stablemates get cooking a little bit too much up front, which I wouldn't think they would, but then that would help the 4, trip-wise. On to race 3. Number 4 in here, Patronato, is the only one that has won more than 1 race in this particular field. These are all otherwise non-winners of 2. It's a Texas-bred allowance event, 3-year-olds and up, going 300.
Yeah, I got number 7, Cartendo Fast Dash on top here. It's a horse that I seem to pick this horse every time he runs out here at Lone Star Park, and I'd be 0 for 6 if that was true. Does have a second and a third, but I always think this horse is going to get over the hump and pick up another win out here. Just always seems to kind of run lackluster on me. This horse, the last 3 races, all 3 of them were stakes races. Finished 3rd in the Hill Country Stakes down at the Gillespie County Fairgrounds, 4th in a stakes race before that. This horse does have a win at the distance and a 3rd-place finish out of 3 tries. I'm just hoping that this is the time that Cartendo Fast Dash is going to pick up another win. I got the 8, Justify, as my second choice. Was within a length of the winner last time out at Sam Houston Race Park. Has a win at the distance as well. If you look back to how this horse did last year at Lone Star Park, had a win and a second. I know that was quite a while ago, but it was over this track, so something to be said for that. And then I took number 4, Pata Rondo, as my third choice. 2 starts back, this horse was in the Miss Sam Houston Stakes. Finished 10 of 10 of that one, was bumped at the start. But the other races around that, this horse has been up close in some of those. So I'll go ahead and give a nod to this 7-year-old mare to finish in the top 3 here.
Yeah, I went with let's back up for a second here before we talk about this. Let's back it up because we're getting word now of a new scratch, a horse that I was talking about back in the first race. Switch back real quickly to the first race before it gets past us. Number 7, Sweet Tabby, is now a scratch. Race 1, number 7, Sweet Tabby, who was my second pick on a drop off a career debut. So that's that race that's, got tough anyway. But anyway, take out the 1-7, Sweet Tabby. So now back to this. Let me make sure I've got all the PPs in the right. I've had a hard time keeping these things straight. Yeah, based on company faced, I think Cartendo Fast Dash in this third race is obvious to me. Now, Justifies a morning line favorite. He's fairly consistent. I don't think his ceiling is as high as Cartendo Fast Dash, but Cartendo has been running in the Dr. Glenn Blodgett in the Hill Country and a restricted grade 2 at Retama, and last year he ran in the Neutrina Stakes here on Champions Night, and he's been in a lot of stakes company, and he's only won for 23, but just look at some of the horses he's been running against. I mean, 3 back, he was only beaten a length and a half by He's a Jet 1. That was enough for me. Earlier this year, he was only beaten 2 lengths by Dashing Trace. And he's reasonably consistent, so I'm big on him here. Addie Lane is one to watch. I got her third. Blinkers off today. Very quick. Starts from the inside. And at this 300-yard distance, Addie Lane, I think, might be worth considering in some of your vertical wagers. Race 4. This is the filly division of the Texas Arabian Juvenile Sprint. 3/4 of a mile. Field of 6 in here.
Yeah, I went with AA Burning Dawn. That's the number 5 horse. Looks like the horse to beat to me. Was a winner last time out. That was in a stakes race at Retama Park. Won that race by 2 lengths. Second place horse was the next out winner as well. And the debut for AA Burning Dawn was a third place finisher. I think this horse is going in the right direction, no doubt about it. Number 6, Uptown of a Lifetime, is going to be my second choice. Comes into this spot from back-to-back wins. Most recent one came right out here at Lone Star Park, so does have a win over the racing surface. And then RB Bliss, the 4, is going to be my third choice. Last 2 races were stakes race for RB Bliss. Stakes place last time out, finished third in that race behind RB Alexis and Dreamseek. That's 2 pretty good Arabians that we've seen out here. One at first asking back at Retama earlier this year, trained by Ernesto Torres. I think there's a lot to like about the 4 as well. I got a 5-6-4 here in this stakes race.
Do you spend any time on Saturday morning watching ESPN College Game Day?
I used to a lot, but now my Saturday mornings consist of coming up here and watching horses run pretty much all day long.
I guess so. Well, Lee Corso, when he has his guest
when he puts on the helmet?
Well, yeah. I mean, he eventually puts on the mascot hat of whoever he's picking, but he'll go, not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast, my friend.
Well, I'm going to try to beat this odds-on favorite who, might run right off the screen for all we know. AA Burning Dawn, really good race last time, but it was a dramatic improvement over that first start. And when they run just dramatically better, it might just mean they're getting better. But that race was back in July. I'm going to take a shot with RB Bliss. I know I'm a Torres homer, but this horse was just beaten by like a pole and a half by RB Alexis and Dreamseek. But those are 2 really, really nice horses, much more experienced than any of the fillies in here. And then that was in a mile race, and you go back to when she was sprinting, and she was much more competitive. So I'm going to give Torres a chance in an upset. I mean, the last time I picked against a Arabian, it was that Masquerade Sobia earlier in the meet, and she won with ease at a very short price. But I'm going to try to beat her here, so we'll see. That might be a not so fast, my friend, from Corso, but we'll see. Race 5, 440 yards. Starter optional claimer. You can be in for $10,000, which most of these are, or you can be having run for a tag of $62.50 or less last year, or this.
Yeah, I've got number 6, Thanks Kevin here. This horse has had some experience at the distance, a couple races at 440. Does have a win. That was the most recent race. Won that race by a length and a quarter. If you look back through, you'll see this horse was running at 550, 400. This horse can definitely get the distance. I like that about that. This horse does have some experience going long. I think this horse can make it back-to-back wins. Number 9, Eric's First Wagon, is going to be my second choice. Another one coming in here fresh off a win. Did that at 400 last time. And non-winners of 3 races at the $10,000 tags. Back in for 10 grand again today. The race before that, same claiming price with a third-place finisher, missed by 3/4 of a length. So the last 2 races have both been pretty decent for Eric's First Wagon. And then I got number 3, One Mighty Eagle, as my third choice. This horse has been off the racetrack for quite some time. Last June is when we saw this horse in a race last time. That was in a stakes race in the Sam Houston 550. Finished last in that one, but did go in that stakes race. And if you look back to 22 and even before that, you see this horse was in stakes races all the time. Yeah. Never really had the great finishes, but, did finish in the money a few times against some much tougher horses. 30th lifetime start for this 9-year-old gelding. Definitely the class of the field, or the old man of the field.
Yeah.
The rest of them, they got a lot of 3-year-olds in here, so it'll be interesting to see if this 9-year-old can come and give these youngins a run for their money, right?
Hopefully those legs are still spry off that long layoff. But, I thank Kevin. My concern about him is if he breaks. I mean, I have him on top 2. If he breaks, he wins. but he has messed up a few starts over the course of the PPs I'm looking at. It didn't matter last time. He was able to motor to the lead and win very nicely and by open daylight. Eric's first wagon, won from the outside, which is a good sign because he's back outside here. Showed a lot of really good speed last time. And then I took Sachet and Pool for Jonathan Castaneda. This horse, since Castaneda claimed her last year, grossly overmatched, but now I think she's with a bunch that she might at least compete against. Race 6. Start of the late pick 4, maiden special weight Colts and Geldings. Some of our 2-year-old races are restricted to Colts and Geldings. This one is 220. So a short distance here, scratch the 11 and 12.
So I'm on the inside horse, number 1, Checkered Flag, was a second-place finisher last time out. That was on July the 4th at Ruidoso Downs. Just missed by a neck in that one. The 2 races before that, both of them trial races, one at Remington, one at Ruidoso. Comes in here to this maiden spot. I think should be a good spot here for Checkered Flag. Number 5, that's my second choice, Bounty Law. It's another horse that came in off of trials at Ruidoso. The best finish for this horse was back at Remington Park in a trial there, finished second in the race in April. We'll see what happens with Bounty Law. Then I got number 8, Call It Thunder. Some experience for this horse. 7 races so far. Was a second-place finisher last time out in Maiden Company down in Gillespie. A third before that. You see this horse has hit the board, 3 times out of the 7 races so far. We'll see if this horse likes to transition here to Lone Star. But I think Call It Thunder is good enough to get up in the top 3 here in race 6.
Yeah, we've got the same picks in the top 3. A couple of notes about breeding. Checkered Flag, the 1, is out of the mare Sinuous. She produced Whistle Stop Cafe, who was a world champion just a few years ago. And that winner of that last race, Condigo, that Checkered Flag was in, is Wes Giles that qualified for the Ruidoso Juvenile Challenge and ran up the track, but has won twice. Bounty Law, produced by a mare named Aqua Girl, who's produced some good ones. Bounty Law is a first-time gelding. I disagree with the Ruidoso chart caller who said that he was eased last time. Number 1, he beat a horse. If you're eased, I guess you could technically beat another horse that was eased.
Doesn't happen a lot, though.
No, he wasn't eased. He just wasn't, in my opinion, he just wasn't persevered with. It was a terrible start, and the rider just wrapped up on him, which was the right thing to do. So I think I'm going to give this horse another break and assume he breaks better. I mean, he was 7-2 in that race at Ruidoso in that trial. So Bounty Law, I think, is definitely one to watch. On to the 7th. Optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of a race other than maiden, claiming, starter, trial, or Texas bred allowance this year, or $25,000 claiming tag. 250 is the distance. Scratch the 11 and 12.
So I've got number 1, Fire Eating Cowboy here, my top choice. He's been off the races since middle of July. Was a 5th-place finish in the non-winners of 3 allowance at Ruidoso. Before that, this horse qualified and ran in the Oklahoma Derby, finished 3rd in the Oklahoma Derby, by 3/4 of a length.
And was well bet in the race, too. It was 5-2, so probably the second
choice more than likely. So not so bad at all there. Earned quite a bit of money for that one.
Great, yeah.
I'll go ahead and take Fire Eating Cowboy here in this spot. Only going 250 tonight. So the horse is going to have to get out of the gate.
Quick.
But, yeah, this horse has been getting out of the gate fairly quick in every race. So I think Fire Eating Cowboy could be the one they're all chasing here in race number 7. Number 4, Angel's Blood. That's going to be my second choice. 15-1 morning line on Angel's Blood. Last time out was within a half a length of the winner in that race. This horse was a winner at the $15,000 claiming level before that. So trending in the right direction. This horse does have 2 lifetime wins out of 11 starts. We'll see if Angel's Blood can't get something done. That's some pretty decent odds. And then number 6, a Picasso Jess is going to be my third choice. Broke his maiden 2 starts back at this 250-yard distance. Went longer last time in a trial for the Dash for Cash Derby. Ran 4th in that trial race out of 10. Wasn't so bad. Whoopa, the winner of that one, qualified for the Derby.
Yeah.
So not a bad race there. We'll see if A Picasso Jess can't have a nice one. I got it 146 in race 7.
I could be misremembering, but I think Whoopa might have gone off favored in the Derby as well. She was certainly one of the best qualifiers. I like Fire Eating Cowboy myself. I'm not worried about the layoff. The horse generally breaks well. I hope that continues. The Damn She Eat Fire was the winner of the 2017 Texas Classic Juvenile right here on this racetrack for Paragon Farms. One note about a Picasso Jess, and this isn't why I picked him second instead of on top, but it mentions in here that he was a Heritage Place winner mixed sale purchase of $80,000, which is true. That's only the most recent sale. I look back at this horse, and he was actually a $315,000 yearling in 2021, bred by Danny Joe Miller, who now once again owns him, sold to a partnership, $315K. They ran him out there in those 2023 trials, and he flopped, and they sold him to Danny Miller, the breeder, for apparently $80,000 at the Heritage mixed sale. So it's just interesting that, you know, this colt was like a high first-round pick, and then he ended up on the waiver wire, essentially. And if Danny Joe Miller actually sold him and didn't consign him to someone else or whatever, then he made a lot of money.
Yeah,
on that horse.
Not a bad little.
He
like,
made the
flip
$315.
there, right?
And then he gave 80 of it back
got the,
to buy
got
him
the horse
back.
anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's how that works. I'm not an expert on sales, but on to the 8th. It looks to me like, from where I'm looking, like the inside pair really dominate, and we have the same picks here, the 2 and the 1. Look to me to be clearly best. Scratch the 11 and 12, 2-year-old, non-winners of 2 in this one.
Yeah, I went with a Fabulous Fling. I mean, this horse ran well in the Old South Futurity at Delta Downs earlier this year. I always loved that race. Finished second in that one, missing by 3/4 of a length. You know, that came at 330 yards, just like we're running tonight. You know, last time out, this horse was a 4th-place finisher, was a stakes runner before that down at Retama. I think there's a lot to like about the 2. Number 1, High Dollar Dynasty, second choice here. You know, this is a horse that was a stakes runner 2 back, just missed by half a length in that one in a 5th-place effort. Said it was off slow. If you look last time, dwelt at the start,
that's not
too.
bad. I like how he was off a bit slow, and then the next time he topped that
He just said, nah.
dwelt. Yeah, the next time he said, I'm going to top that off a bit slow. I'm just going to stand here.
So,
that
I mean,
concerns me a little bit, to be
yeah,
honest.
it's 2 back-to-back races like that. But they were a long time ago, right?
Yeah,
May was that last
They've
one.
had a lot of time to work with
Yeah,
it.
so the horse has been on the track working once. You see on the 14th of September, put together a nice workout then, 11.63 on the morning for 220. Hopefully this horse can break out of the gate like those first 2 races of his career and run pretty decent. And then I got number 7, Just Candy Time, as my 3rd pick here. 6th-place finish last time, but if you look before that, I mean, this horse got better every time out until that last race. Went from 3rd to 2nd to 1st. Just kind of threw a clunker last time, broke out.
Terrible, got bumped both sides, stumbled.
A tough futurity trial race. Let's just throw that one out there, get him back here, see if Just Candy Time could run well. I got 2, 1, and 7.
Yeah, anything that could have gone wrong for Just Candy Time did last time. That's a complete toss. Yeah, I like a Fabulous Fling, too. I mean, just look at who he's been running against. Favorite MVPZ, Machiavelli, horses like that. And High Dollar Dynasty, again, we talked about her. It's just a matter of getting out of the gate, but her connections have been red hot. Be Gone is my 3rd pick. This horse has had all kinds of problems getting out of the gate, but I think there's talent in that horse, and he breaks from an advantageous post today. So if there's a good start in Be Gone, it might be tonight. Race 9. Carryover well up over $10,000 in the Super High 5 heading into the 9th. Scratch the 10, 11, and 12. Both also eligibles, and the 10 into celebrating. 440 yards, maiden 2-year-olds.
So I've got number 3, SS Kratos, as my first choice here. You know, 3 races for this gelding. He's gotten better every time out. 3rd at first asking, a 2nd by half, 2 starts ago. Missed by a neck last time out. The horse has gotten longer every time. Went from 250 to 350 to 400. Going 440 tonight. So the horse has been getting better in those races as they've been getting longer. We'll see if SS Kratos can't get the win tonight. Number 7, Light 'em Up Rooster is going to be my second choice. Was a 3rd-place finisher last time out in maiden company right here at Lone Star Park. That was on the 12th of September. Just missed by half a length in that one. If you look at the comments, it says off slow. Hey, if the horse gets off a little bit better this time, I think he's a little bit closer to the front.
That was a good race by that horse.
And then number 5, AJ's Flashing the Chicks is going to be my 3rd choice. Another horse that comes in here off a third-place finish last time out. That was in a trial at the Downs at Albuquerque. I mean, a horse went off at, 57.5 to 1 pretty much. 5 to 2 tonight on the morning line, so should be facing a lot easier field here based on Rick Lee's prediction of this horse's odds when the gates open, but I'll take the 5 as my third choice. I got 3, 7, and 5 in race 9.
Yeah, I'm actually quite enamored of the 5 in here. I love the breeding. Flashing My PJs, the Dam, ran 4 times. One of those was a 7th-place finish in the All-American Futurity 4 years ago, so she ended up earning $135,000 in her career with 2 wins. Her Dam was, I believe, PJ Chicken Black. Yeah, PJ Chicken Black was an AQHA champion. So really nice family, both sides of the pedigree there. And this was a very expensive $360,000 yearling who did come out in her debut and, bump checked at the start. Followed that up with a decent effort there in the All-American trials, but gets a much-needed drop here and draws well. No Foe ran a really nice race last time. I'm just kind of wondering if she might be a bit of a one-hit wonder. It's interesting. No Foe is by Matoli, a champion thoroughbred. Your top pick, SS Kratos, is by Imperial Hint, who was a multiple sprint stakes winner known as the Little Rocket. He was just a little bit of a thing. They called him the Little Rocket. And he won at Saratoga and all over the place. But I went with A.J. Flash and the Chicks over No Foe and Light 'em Up Rooster. Good race. Eye on the lights for Brittany Tejas on the outside. Has a couple of nice works for a firster. Eagle Leader for Zachary Steinbaugh, I think, has a shot. I didn't use your pick somehow, but that was a nice race last time, so good way to wrap it up. All right. Rodney's going to stay out here. It's a little bit warm, but not too bad. I mean, the sun's a little filtered today, which helps. Well, he'll have his picks and previews throughout the night. We'll have a full wrap-up of changes coming up shortly. In the meantime, 28 minutes to post for the first. Thanks for looking in, and good luck tonight.